From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana, Siddiqui. Our top story tonight. A report in the British medical journal The Lancet says the death toll from Israel's war on Gaza could exceed 186,000. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry in Gaza, the official death toll since the war began in October stands at 38,153. However, a letter written by experts and published in The Lancet on Friday argues this number is significantly underestimated. They say official numbers fail to account for the thousands buried under rubble and the indirect deaths caused by Israel's destruction of food distribution, healthcare, and sanitation systems. After applying what they say is a conservative estimate of 4 indirect deaths per 1 direct death, the experts say they estimate up to 186,000 or even more deaths. Such a number would represent almost 8% of Gaza's pre-war population of 2.3 million. The letter also notes that over 35% of Gaza's buildings have been destroyed, with more than 10,000 people likely still trapped under debris. Transparency watchdog Air Wars supports these concerns, pointing out the omission of identifiable victims from official fatality lists. It has mentioned the growing difficulty in data collection for the health ministry due to Israel's extensive damage to infrastructure in Gaza. The letter calls for an immediate ceasefire and urgent humanitarian aid. It also stresses the importance of accurately documenting the scale and nature of suffering of Gaza's people to ensure historical accountability and meet legal requirements. Israeli bombings and ground operations across Gaza have killed 50 Palestinians and injured 130 others in the past 24 hours, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. Among the casualties are 9 people, including 5 children, who were killed in an attack on Gaza's Burej refugee camp while playing in the street. The situation has forced patients and staff to flee Al-Ahli Arab Hospital and the Patients' Friends Benevolent Society Hospital following another mass evacuation order issued by the Israeli military. The Mahanna family lost 6 members in an airstrike on their home on Al-Jala Street, and another airstrike in the Lababidi area killed 3 more, according to the Wafa news agency. Footage obtained by Al Jazeera shows Israeli tanks crushing members of a Palestinian family in Gaza last month. On June 28th, Israeli armored vehicles surrounded and shelled a family sheltering on a farm northwest of Rafah, killing 5 people. The violence has extended beyond Gaza, with 340 illegal Israeli settler attacks against Palestinians in the occupied West Bank reported this year. The NGO Peace Now reports that Israeli land seizures for settlements are at their highest in over 3 decades. Since October 7th last year, Israel's war on Gaza has killed 38,243 Palestinians and left 88,243 wounded. The International Court of Justice has ordered Israel to halt its military operation in Rafah. Israel stands accused of genocide by the World Court. Negotiations for a ceasefire in Gaza have hit obstacles as Israel has launched a fresh offensive on Gaza City, intensifying bombardment. Hamas has condemned the assault, warning it could derail talks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's new conditions, including preventing weapons smuggling from the Sinai and continued airstrikes, countered earlier U.S. optimism of progress. White House officials, amid ongoing mediation efforts in Egypt, had highlighted remaining gaps but affirmed commitment to a diplomatic resolution. The U.S. dispatched top envoys CIA Director Bill Burns and the Middle East Director at the National Security Council, Brett McGurk, to bolster negotiations. They were also sent to navigate Israeli-Egyptian tensions over border security. Experts say Netanyahu's new demand means the U.S. needs to mediate between Israel and the Egyptian military as well. Axios reports that after the talks in Cairo, McGurk will travel to Israel to meet Netanyahu and Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Burns will also be dispatched to Doha to meet with Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani. Indian universities have intensified collaborations with Israeli institutions and defense companies, particularly in fields like defense, robotics, and AI. Despite Israel's war on Gaza prompting reconsideration by the U.S. and the U.K., India has continued to build a partnership. These involve reputed Indian universities and companies linked to Israeli weaponry. According to Azad Issa, a senior reporter for the UK-based Middle East Eye, Israeli universities are seeking to bolster technological and military research hubs in India. Key interactions include visits and joint projects between Hebrew University of Jerusalem and Indian Institute of Technology Delhi, reflecting deepening ties since Narendra Modi's 2017 visit to Israel. Critics, including academics like Nandini Sundar and Zoya Hassan, condemn these ties, alleging India's complicity in Gaza's humanitarian crisis. They are urging for boycotts against Israeli collaborations. Israeli universities, fearing academic exclusion, are also turning to India for support amid global scrutiny over its war, which has killed over 30,000 Palestinians, including thousands of children. In 2022, Indian students made up the largest group of foreign students in Israel, with over 47% of all foreign postdoctoral fellows in Israel from India. The UK's new Labour government is set to abandon its bid to delay the International Criminal Court, or ICC's, decision on issuing an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The move follows accusations against the previous Conservative government led by Rishi Sunak for obstructing the prosecution of Israeli war crimes. Labour believes the ICC has jurisdiction over Gaza, a stance that contrasts with the previous government's argument. This decision comes after Labour's landslide victory in the recent general election. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has indicated a desire to strengthen UK-Israel relations while urging a ceasefire in Gaza. The shift in government policy reflects Labour's commitment to Palestinian statehood and marks a departure from previous positions on the Israel-Palestine issue. Labour has also vowed to deepen its ties with Gulf states. In a call with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, Starmer agreed to deepen cooperation on trade and investment, defense, and cybersecurity. Hurricane Beryl slammed into Texas, hitting Matagorda Bay with winds reaching 100 miles per hour. The Category 1 storm caused extensive wind damage along the Gulf Coast and dumped 5 to 10 inches of rain, triggering flash floods and road closures. Storm surges of 4 to 6 feet inundated coastal areas, submerging homes and washing away vehicles. Nearly 1,000 flights have either been canceled or delayed at Houston's 2 international airports. Downgraded to a tropical storm upon landfall, Beryl still poses severe risks as it sweeps through Houston, affecting its 6.8 million residents. Gusts of up to 84 miles per hour toppled trees and power lines, leaving nearly 2 million homes without electricity. One fatality occurred when a tree fell on a house. Emergency officials have urged residents to seek shelter indoors, cautioning of tornado-like conditions. With ongoing heavy winds and rainfall predicted, Beryl's impact is forecasted to extend into the eastern U.S., threatening further flooding and storms. Global heat wave streak signals urgent climate crisis. Details after the break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. June 2024 has been marked as the hottest June on record, continuing a 13-month streak of record-breaking heat. That's according to the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service. Director Carlo Buontempo emphasized the inevitability of breaking new climate records unless greenhouse gas emissions are curbed. With temperatures surpassing pre-industrial levels by 1.5 degrees Celsius, experts warn of accelerated global warming trends. Areas like Southeast Europe, Canada, and parts of the United States experienced the most significant heat anomalies, while some regions saw cooling trends, potentially linked to a developing La Niña system. Scientists have highlighted that current trends align dangerously close with limits set by the Paris Agreement. Projections suggest a 95% likelihood that 2024 will surpass 2023 as the hottest year on record. Amidst these alarming statistics, experts say global repercussions such as deadly heat waves during the Hajj pilgrimage and prolonged heat waves in India and Greece underscore the urgent need for climate action. Philadelphia-based radio host Andrea Lawful Sanders has resigned from local radio station WURD. This was after using 4 questions provided by Joe Biden's campaign during an interview on July 3rd. The interview was arranged without the station management's knowledge. Station President Sarah Lomax has emphasized the importance of maintaining trust with their audience. WURD is Pennsylvania's only Black-owned talk radio. It has expressed concern over the issue and cited a breach in their editorial independence. Lawful Sanders confirmed using half of the questions sent by the campaign. Biden's campaign defended its practice, saying it often shares discussion topics but does not order media to use the questions they provide. Following the incident, Biden's campaign says it plans to cease providing suggested questions. The New York chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations has strongly condemned the harassment of a Brooklyn delivery driver. This was because he was wearing a keffiyeh while on duty for Uber Eats. A woman in a car following him verbally abused the driver and made derogatory remarks, including calling him a terrorist and mocking the scarf, which has become a symbol of Palestinian freedom. The incident was recorded on video and shows the woman demanding personal details from the driver while making inflammatory remarks about Palestine. CAIR New York's executive director Afaf Nasher denounced the incident as discriminatory and intolerant. She also emphasized the driver's right to conduct his work without such harassment, as well as respect and peaceful coexistence in everyday interactions. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump has stirred controversy by mocking President Joe Biden's outreach to the Muslim community. On Truth Social, Trump shared a screenshot of Biden's message wishing Muslims a happy Islamic New Year. The Islamic New Year, which follows the lunar calendar, began on Sunday. While some Trump supporters criticized Biden for the message, claiming it was sympathetic to Hamas, others defended it. Trump critics accused the ex-president of Islamophobia, citing his past policies like the 2017 Muslim ban, as well as false claims he has made about Muslims celebrating the 9/11 attacks. Trump's latest social media post coincides with Israel's ongoing war on Gaza, which has killed over 30,000 Palestinians, including thousands of children. Pakistan has called for greater international assistance to manage the country's Afghan refugee crisis. UN Refugee Agency Chief Filippo Grandi met with Pakistani leaders, including Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, to discuss Islamabad's recent decision to expel illegal foreign refugees, primarily Afghans. Grandi engaged in talks emphasizing the voluntary nature of refugee returns, contrasting with Pakistan's initiative. According to Pakistani officials, over 500,000 Afghan refugees have returned home, with concerns raised about economic strains and the ongoing influx of Afghan asylum seekers. Mr. Amir Muqam highlighted significant economic challenges in hosting refugees since 1979, when Pakistan accepted thousands of Afghans fleeing the former Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. The UNHCR chief also met Afghan refugee representatives in the Pakistani city of Peshawar, hearing their concerns firsthand. Pakistan reiterated the need for heightened global aid during these discussions, stressing the shared responsibility of the international community in addressing this long-standing humanitarian issue. 14 people died after they were stranded in the Algerian desert near the border with Libya. The Algerian Relief Association for Search and Rescue said the victims were males aged between 10 and 55 years old. They were found in the Belgebour Desert in southeastern Algeria. The Syrian embassy in Algeria confirmed that 12 Syrians were among the victims. Algeria's southern provinces are considered a passing point for African migrants seeking to reach Europe. According to Algerian authorities, human traffickers are active in the area and organize smuggling operations for Africans wishing to cross the Mediterranean Sea into Europe. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. Your support is needed now more than ever to continue our mission of providing informative, educational, and inspiring content to Muslims in North America and around the world. Donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Salam and good night.